Anton arrived in the village in the evening, when the sun had slipped behind the woods. The air smelled of cold dampness. In only a few windows, a light glowed. The porch creaked under the weight of his suitcase, and the house greeted him with silence. All the way from the city, a sense of unease had followed him, as if someone watched from the trees along the road. The locals glanced at him warily, as if they already knew he was a stranger, even in his own house. Anton dropped his things and stepped into the yard. The moon was slowly rising above the tops of the firs. A night path led into the forest where Anton had often walked alone before. The rustle of the leaves sounded familiar. But tonight there was something alien, hostile about it. A shadow flickered in the darkness beyond the trees. Something lunged at him from the dark. A snarl, heavy breathing, a sudden flash of pain. Sharp teeth sank into his arm. He couldn't cry out, only clenched his fist. When the creature slipped away, sticky blood and a cold emptiness remained. Anton staggered, feeling weakness running through his veins. Back home, he trembled until dawn, not sleeping for a single minute. By morning, his arm ached with a dull, tearing pain. Soon, red streaks appeared on his skin, as if rot were spreading from within. The blood in the bandage darkened. The metallic smell grew sharp, irritating and alluring at once. Anton could barely get out of bed. A ringing filled his ears. Every movement answered with aching muscles. He didn't recognize his gaze in the cracked mirror. A wild, foreign darkness swirled in his eyes. By evening, he wanted only food, but no meal eased the strange hunger. He chewed dry bread and then looked with disgust at the red veins of raw meat in the refrigerator. Twilight fell over the village. Sounds from the street grew too loud. Every movement like a gunshot, every unfamiliar voice like a growl. Someone passed by the window, leaving a barely perceptible trace of scent. And Anton's heart thudded with fear and a dull, predatory thirst. At night, Anton flushed with fever. It felt as if his skin had become a tight shell for something larger and heavier. He lay with his eyes open, his breathing dimmed. Everything around him began to crawl through the dark. He fell into vague visions, running through the woods, catching scents of fear and blood. Leaves under paws, hot breath, the meat-tasting tongue. Another life struggles and weakens. He woke up clutching the bed until his fingers ached. His heart hammered at his temples, his mouth filled with the taste of iron. The wound throbbed, as if it refused to heal on purpose, feeding the cravings inside. Morning greeted him with mist and black shadows and empty windows. For the first time, Anton didn't dare go out. It seemed the whole village watched his house, waiting for something inevitable. The full moon hung low, coldly bathing the room. Anton woke with a sharp pain. His bones felt as if they were being twisted from the inside. His heart raced, his body arched, trying to shed the human shell. Veins swelled in his hands, his fingers twisted in cramps, his nails darkened and lengthened, digging into his palms. Gray bristles appeared on his skin. His mouth emptied. His fallen teeth were replaced by sharp, unfamiliar fangs. He tried to scream, but only a low growl tore from his throat. Anton flailed around the room, clawing at the walls, tearing at the fabric on his body. His own scent mixed with the smell of the beast breaking free. When it was over, the house was stained with blood and earth. Outside on the dew-covered grass, tracks remained, large animal prints. And in his chest, a hunger, different, inhuman. Fear fell over the village. People whispered at gates. Someone disappeared at night. Dogs howled. Doors were boarded up. In the morning, they found a body in a clearing, mutilated, almost unrecognizable. Bloody trails led to the forest. Branches were broken, the earth clawed. Anton drew the curtains. His whole body ached. His memory was painted with tattered scraps of the night. Thickets, alien eyes, blood. The scent still hadn't left his lungs. His hands bore torn marks. Someone's fur was stuck between his fingers. He was afraid to go outside. Every sound felt like a threat. Footsteps behind the fence, heavy breathing at the wall, rustles at the doors. A knock at the window made his heart stop, but nobody came in. The moon's shadow slowly slid away, but the beast inside did not retreat. It merely crouched, waiting for the next night. The morning was dull. Mist crawled over the village, hiding the traces of the night. Anton lay by the ravine, half asleep in torn clothes. Dirt smeared his hands. His lips tasted of blood and wet earth. His shoulders ached. Where there had been fur, human skin now showed through, still foreign and tight. He couldn't collect his thoughts for a long time, catching fragments of nocturnal visions. Scenes flashed in his memory, running through the bushes, the taste of the living, someone else's fear and waves of ringing. Every moment answered with pain, but with some wild primeval joy as well. A rumor spread through the village. Something had happened again overnight. In the field they found remains, a torn silhouette in the grass. The men gathered their guns, children hid under blankets. From behind curtains, wary, frowning looks. Nobody believed in a simple accident anymore. Anton hid behind a fallen log, afraid even to breathe when his name was whispered. Everything that happened to him at night seemed like a dream until he moved. As soon as he stood, the ache in his bones reminded him. The beast was still here, near. Inside, a heavy black thirst still burned. He slipped back home through the gardens, a shadow among his own walls. The windows of the empty house greeted him with emptiness, and only the old mirror stood as a witness to fear. The moon's tremble still lapped at his reflection. By midday, the village grew quiet, but the deepest emptiness Anton heard was inside him. He knew. When the next moon rose, the beast would awaken, and he would no longer be able to beg for mercy. Twilight lay like a soft shadow on the porch. Somewhere on the edge of the woods, a long, ragged howl rose. Anton listened, already knowing. It was a call, a warning, the beginning of an endless hunt.